Dave Chaffee versus Vitaly Laletin. Main event of King of the Table 5. Wow, what an amazing match that was. Probably the match of the year. This is how close it was, and none of the athletes were willing to give up. So the first round started. Vitaly Laletin had slight hand control inside the straps, and Dave Chaffee's wrist was broken back, but Vitaly's wrist was also compromised during that setup. Dave Chaffee kept his relentless side pressure, but he was not able to finish Vitaly off. Vitaly was applying a ton of up pressure on Dave's arm, but it was not working for either one of them. Then Dave Chaffee stood up and followed up with a shoulder press. This is something that no one was expecting Dave Chaffee to do. But it clearly worked with Vitaly Laletin's tall, long arm. It was almost impossible to stop Dave's ton of side pressure. Then the second round started. Same thing, a very even slip from both of the athletes. And this time also Dave Chaffee was in a similar position. His hand was compromised, but Vitaly also did not have a very great hand control. But Vitaly was applying a ton of side pressure. He was again able to hold Dave Chaffee for a very long time. Maybe it was also again a 30-40 second round at least. Then Dave Chaffee decided to do the same thing. This time he had to stand up twice to follow up with a press, and the press again worked. Vitaly was not able to stop the side pressure that was coming from Dave Chaffee, and he got pinned twice. In the third round, something changed. Vitaly Laletin pinned Dave Chaffee outside of straps very quickly. It was almost a flash pin, as if Dave Chaffee missed the go. But maybe it could have been a tactical point from Dave Chaffee, because he knew that the buckle is on his hand and he may get tired out. He was not in a great position. That is why maybe he didn't contest that round. In the fourth round, Vitaly again made a comeback and Dave Chaffee did a ton of fouls this time. The refereeing was getting somewhat questionable at this point of time, because Dave's elbows were going out of the pad, but at the same time he was getting pinned as well. And there were no running fouls in this event. The rules did say that there are running fouls, but I didn't see a single running foul in the entire event. If you elbow foul, the match would stop. And that is what saved Dave Chaffee in that round. That is what allowed multiple starts to happen, because Dave Chaffee was not able to slip and Vitaly was crushing his fingers on his hand. Dave Chaffee was bleeding profusely at that point. The hand peg was red, the table was red, and he was just dropping blood everywhere because of Vitaly's hand strength. But Vitaly won that round and the score was 2-2. Everyone was saying Dave Chaffee is only good for 2 rounds, but something happened. This time, Dave went straight for the flop press. I have very rarely seen anything like that. I'm not sure if it is allowed or not. The rules say that the wrist should be straight, but Dave Chaffee was starting with a broken back wrist. He knew that his wrist is going to be taken, so he was going straight away, shoulders not squared by the way. He was going for that flop press, and that flop press again worked. Vitaly was shaking, he was desperate. You can just see it in his face. He was almost going to die in that match, but he was not willing to give up. And Dave Chaffee kept that pressure. Vitaly in that open arm got tired and Dave Chaffee pinned him. The score now was 3-3. Before that, Vitaly had won another round. So the final round, there were again some restarts. In the sixth round, Vitaly was already on 2 fouls. In the final round, there was again fouls on Vitaly and Dave as well, I think. And again, same thing happened. Dave Chaffee started with that flop press and Vitaly stopped it 1 inch. I'm saying 1 inch, but it was like 1 centimeter above the pad, and it stayed there for a very long time. That was a match that you will not see or may not see for years to come. That will go down in the history books. And Vitaly Laletin did a desperate king's move. He knew that it is not going to work for him. He's getting tired, so he did a king's move, and it also did not work. Dave Chaffee pressed Vitaly Laletin to the pad for a 4-3 victory, a silver bullet round victory for Dave Chaffee. Dave Chaffee deserves a ton of respect after that. He even said that he just needed a few percentage more endurance, and he had that this time, and it worked. Vitaly Laletin did not have the hook to tire Dave Chaffee out. That is why he lost that match, and maybe he needs to practice someone like Jerry Cadret to prepare for the future matches, because this is one weakness that has been exposed. Flop press is not Dave's primary weapon, but he resorted to it this time and it worked against Vitaly Laletin. Amazing match. This was by far, everyone was saying that this is not the best pay-per-view to buy, but this was by far the best King of the Table card, especially when it comes to close matches. Thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel. Bye.